Hey, this is Matt once again. What about to end of the video? This is another paid request. This time for Gia. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos or topics or reactions or whatever case may be, commentaries, video game stuff, PayPal is usually the best bet, or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And Gia wanted me to talk about 3 more episodes of Dragon Ball Z Kai, episodes 6, 7, and 8. Well, I gotta say, these 3 episodes, they went by quick. Not just the pacing, but by this point in the story, Goku is on the Snake Road. By the beginning of episode 6, he arrives at the end of the Snake Road, and he's getting ready to be taught by the god of the gods, so to speak. And then from 6, 7, 8, like 5 months pass in between, 5 or 6 months in between these 3 episodes. I'm like, god damn, it went by quick. And by this point, Goku's son Gohan is being taught by Pick, who just destroyed a fucking moon that apparently did not affect the Earth at all. Goku's allies are in this heavenly state of place training, although I don't think they don't really get to do much of jack shit when the shit hits the fan. So it seems like it'll all be pointless, but maybe not, who knows. And then by this point, Gohan was left alone, and now he's less afraid, much less of a crybaby, which I appreciate. He does not cry incessantly like he did before. He's much more courageous. Like, he faces off against this creature, he's able to maneuver more, use his powers a bit more, even cut. This is a pretty sadistic. I mean, it's a creature trying to eat him, so I can't feel too bad, but Gohan goes around and cuts another piece of this thing's tail, and you get the idea that he's been cutting pieces of this tail month after month, week after week, day after day, and you see that a lot of it's gone, and as he puts it, I guess you haven't learned yet. Hey, you need meat somewhere, and this thing's trying to kill you, I guess. Can't say you didn't ward him enough. Probably cut his tail like 50 times by this point. Have this big old, what was it, creature, dinosaur, state, whatever the fuck he was. And then Pick sees that he's less of a crybaby and starts training him more and more intensely. Pretty much a lot of Gohan getting the shit kicked out of him and getting a few bits in there, but a lot less of a crybaby. Goku's gone to the end of Snake Road. Sees that there's this little planet up above, gets up there, and on the planet gravity is 10 times heavier, so it makes it much more harder to move. So just him being able to move and jump will be training enough. And that's where he meets, I can't pronounce his name, Kao? Which one thing, I didn't mind the design of the character. I guess lost in translation, the puns. Keep saying these puns, and they seem like just typical sentences. So I don't really get what the puns were. That might be something that just lost in translation from America and how it is over there. I guess I'm like Goku, and he doesn't laugh at these at all, so I kind of relate to Goku. Like, what's funny? What's so funny about it? So maybe it's not as lost, because I'm in Goku's place. It's just that the guy keeps making these puns, and it just got old quick. I thought the joke kind of wore thin, or where the hell it's trying to be, if not a joke. It just, whatever about the plot, just that bit wore thin. And by the end, he's supposed to catch this monkey named Bubbles. I'm like, what? Did this guy steal Michael Jackson's monkey, Bubbles? But it's this monkey, he's supposed to catch it. Kind of like Rocky Balboa catching a chicken. Feel like a Kentucky Fried Idiot. So again, the episodes go by quick. I always find it funny that these are sponsored by McDonald's. I don't know why. Maybe because you're sponsored by McDonald's, and then I see go on taking pieces of this dinosaur-like tail. That's what they're serving McDonald's. That's your burger. But I would say the most interesting part of these 3 episodes was the stuff with Goku and this other realm and the training. I guess I thought there'd be a lot more to the training, a lot more imagination to it. Because like the allies, there's not much to them in all 3 episodes of these. It's pretty much not much to say about their characters or development. It's kind of they're over here training. One is acting like a caveman. Stuff hits him, doesn't affect him. Eating stuff all the time. You have the short, bald one. To try and be as tough as he can be. But if you were to ask me to name 5 things about them, I couldn't. So that stuff was not as interesting. Uh, none of these episodes references Goku's wife and what she's doing and what's going on with that. Same with the other girl that got the equipment with the eye gadget that manages how powerful someone is. That or Goku's wife and how she's dealing with these 6 months and what's going on with that since her kid's been kidnapped and her husband is dead so far. There's like barely any references mentioned of her. Not even one time like Goku thinking, I wonder what she's thinking of. So there's not much depth to it. There's not much character development to it. The stuff with Pick is pretty much Piccolo being a dickhead and training Gohan and Gohan getting more and more bruised up, but he still keeps fighting back. But you see that Piccolo, I guess after he died in the previous show and came back, he has a little bit more heart to him than he did before. But it's one of those things that's kind of rinse and repeat. And when you see it once, it's kind of when you see it repeat over and over again, it just there's nothing much additional material to really gravitate towards, to really chat about, talk about. It's kind of, well, in this episode he did pretty much the same thing, and this episode pretty much did the same thing. So the only thing that really stood out was that with Goku and this godlike figure. And by episode 7, he's able to catch it, get by outwitting it. He's able, when it's going this way, he runs around the other side of the planet, able to catch him. And then you have this grasshopper-looking creature named Gregory. He's supposed to hit it, so he's able to catch him with a hammer. Oh, he didn't hit me that much. Well, yeah, I tapped in. You already got a big old bump right there. To a point that I just wish the full episode, I just wish the entire bits of the episodes was just on that little planet of Goku training with this guy. But I guess that's the point, is that for a good chunk of time, weeks or whatever, you're just chasing this monkey around. Then sometime you're just chasing this grasshopper around. By the time you get to episode 8, the godlike figure says, I'm going to teach you this thing. And then I just taught him off camera. Because then by episode 8, Goku's... I did like the point of view camera shot where you see him, his speed going through the area. Or the god throws his brick that he's supposed to blast. You see the POV of the brick going through. There's more of the brick going through the planet, going across the planet, I should say. And Goku's able to blast it. How did he learn that? How did he learn this shit? That was shit off camera. The technique, how did he learn the technique? So I'm sitting there going, why is most of this stuff like off camera? And like, why did all these months were rushed by? I get that it's fast paced. I to appreciate it, but it's like, oh, in episode 7, we need the bit where the god and the monkey are pissing in the distance. Because Goku's like, aren't you bored here? He's like, no, I could count the grass. I could drive this car where he just drives a little bit around in a circle. I could pee in the distance. We needed that in the episodes, but him train Goku in more variety of ways. It definitely is not the Karate Kid movies. The first two, that is. Definitely no Rocky type of montage. Which that would have been nice to see, but I guess they don't do that kind of stuff over there. Just time went by quick, and now he knows the Genki Dama, which I guess he can only use once. He's allowed to only use once, so I guess that'll be later down the road. Because then by the end of episode 6, he has about 158 days left. And then 7 and 8, 158 days is catapulted to these two episodes, 7 and 8, where again he catches a grasshopper and then he learns a move off screen. So it just feels a bit empty that you don't really get a whole lot of that. And then again, the other bits of the episodes, Pit train Gohan bruised up. These other guys training, but really nothing to it, kind of just whatever. And then by episode 8, learns a bit of the blasting, the Genki Dama move that I guess was taught to him off screen. He's able to communicate with the old man back home on Earth. Hey, start waking me up. The Saiyans are coming. In fact, they're going to come a little bit early. The guy is stupid enough to not realize, oh shit, I didn't take into account that you had to go all the way back on the Snake Road. But hey, you'll be faster this time. And Goku's like, what the fuck? So he's going to be late and get into the party. And by the end of episode 8, the two villains have arrived. And Goku isn't alive yet. It's going to take him a bit to get there. So, granted, if he's brought back to life, wouldn't he just automatically be pulled back to Earth? But I guess not. I guess he would still have to go all the way back the Snake Road, and then he'd be pulled back to Earth. But so the God of the Gods doesn't have the power to just send him back. Which makes me go, well, how much power does this guy really fucking have if he can't even do that? Like, yeah, of these 3 episodes, I would say the only interest was to Goku deal with this planet with 10 times gravity, heavier than Earth, him trying to overcome it, the stuff with the bubbles and the monkey, the grasshopper. Like, that stuff was kind of interesting. I wish there was a bit more development to it. I guess it's not really a show meant for character development. It's meant for style. The other stuff, like I said, Pit and Gohan, there's not really much development there. It's kind of rinse and repeat over and over again. Pit being an asshole, Gohan getting beat up. Is that really, if you cut some of the lame filler, like all this stuff you could have put into, well, I did almost into one episode. I just, I don't know. I wouldn't say I loved it. I wouldn't say I really loved what was going on. It's kind of, I thought there'd be much more to it. I thought there'd be much more imagination, much more creativity. I'm not expecting depth, but it didn't seem like there's much beat to the matter. But on the flip side, I would give credit. It was fast paced, so it wasn't boring. Because you have a 20 minutes and about like a minute opening and a minute closing, and it goes by quick. I'll give you that. And there's still some sense of energy, even during the Pit Gohan training. There's still that bits of anime energy to be had. But I don't know. I was expecting more from the training bits. It seemed kind of not superficial, but kind of flimsy compared to other shows or other movies, other material. But anyway, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later.